Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we got some good old deep humor. Give them a little like. YouTube is adding DMs, and it's funny because I was literally thinking to myself, I'm like, the other day I was like, Twitch has like YouTube and Twitch have like they're trying to like sort of pseudo compete in each other's markets, you know. Twitch has their little video feature for you to upload videos, and YouTube has their YouTube lives. And I was thinking to myself the other day, I'm like, it'd be pretty nifty if YouTube had like a way to like message people, kind of like Twitch does and whatnot, you know. And I'm like, it would be even cooler because you could like make it a like you can make it sort of like a sub thing, like a members only thing, where it's like, oh, if you're a member, you can message the YouTuber and whatnot, and they may see your message, something like that, you know? Or it's like, oh, they get priority message if you're a member, so something like that, you know, for like memberships. So yeah, let's get into it.
YouTube is adding one of their most monumental updates yet, where they're actually going to be adding DMs back to the website. Some of you guys might have been too young for this, but basically YouTube actually used to have DMs and used to actually be able to add people as friends on their YouTube channels. It would look like this, and it would make the creator experience a lot more transparent because fellow YouTubers would actually be able to interact with each other, directly message each other, and basically collab that way. But YouTube removed that feature in 2019 in order to emphasize public conversation and comment sections, which doesn't make any sense.
Okay. So they added it in 2017 and removed it in 2019. Oh, okay, I see.
Because what if you just want to talk to the YouTube directly? What if you're a fellow creator who wants to set up a collab or something? And what if you just have some information for them that you just don't want to be on the public comment section? Well, they're actually going to try to make this happen again. It does have one glaring flaw that we'll get into later, but I still think that it's an overall good change. They actually started testing DMs again as a way for users to share and discuss videos. They made a really weird decision.
Yeah, like it's funny that they say share and discuss videos, because he brought up the collab stuff, and my first thought was my literal first thought was I could spam Leaflet with so many fucking videos for her to watch. That was my literal first thought. Then my follow-up thought was, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. So yeah. But yeah, this would be so interesting because you could actually like share videos with each other for like to like watch and whatnot. Like, for example, I could send Tactical Templar a video and be like, yo, have you seen this? And next thing you know, he makes a video about it, you know, something like that. Or like send Leaflet like some obscure video and be like, yo, this would be so cool if you reacted to this. Something like this, you know? Like stuff like that. But like that's coming from like a content creator side point. Like from like I'd be more interested to see how this would work, how this would function from a user, from like not a content creator but from a viewer standpoint, you know. How would it work that way? I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, I feel like it would just be the same as like Twitch's whisper system, if I'm being real. I feel like it might just be like that.
Though, where the test is for users aged,
because at the end of the day, this is realistically just DMs on YouTube, but it would make, like he said, collabs a whole lot easier, in my opinion. Kind of like how Twitch integrated the collab stream stuff, where you can now knock on someone when you're live to see if they want to collab.
18 and up in Ireland and Poland. I'm not sure why they chose those two countries specifically, but regardless, when a DM usually comes with some expectation of privacy, Google noted that messages may be reviewed to ensure they follow our community guidelines. This is a big problem, and I'll explain why later. So they added DMs to the app in 2017 and then removed the feature in 2019 in order to emphasize public conversation and comment sections. You know, they actually had DMs way before this, but I think they mean a direct messaging feature, like a specific feature called direct messaging. But as I pointed out, you used to actually be able to send people a direct message on YouTube years ago, but I'm talking about like 10 plus years ago, if not more. This was something that I've shown you guys before too in another video.
Yeah, this was like early YouTube when you needed like a machinima sponsorship to like get paid, where you had stuff like, who remembers the days the day and the good old days of machinima ads being the first thing you saw, like that machinima intro. I remember that. Oh fuck, dude. I also remember the Sonic videos, man. Shit. Oh crap. Oh man. What sucks is that I can't remember what they're called, but Sonic for Hire. That's what it was. Oh dude, Sonic for Hire. I remember that. But yeah, oh man, now I feel old. Remember this simpler type shit. I'm gonna move on.
But just a blast in the past. This is what YouTube used to look like. And as you can see, you used to
God
have a
damn it.
section over here for my friends and my inbox. So you used to actually just be able to DM people pretty frequently. And that was back in 2005 and 2006.
Yeah, another thing I'm seeing here is that you can literally have a group. So I'm assuming because you have playlists, that group is completely different from playlists. So I'm assuming group relates to like messages, inbox, and friends. So my group, or it could be like communities and whatnot as well. But like, if that's the case, what's the fucking point of the subscriptions? So like I said, my groups could have been like group chats as well and whatnot, is something that I'm thinking.
As you can see, in 2007, they got rid of the whole friends section, and I believe you could still access it, but it would be a little bit more of a pain. Slowly but surely, YouTube started taking away the emphasis of DMing people and adding people as friends and started making it a more, as I said, public conversation in the comments section. But yeah, back when the website used to look like this in 2017, you used to actually still be able to DM people, but like YouTube said, they took away that feature in 2019. And so apparently the reason that they've done this is because they acknowledge that messages have been a top feature request, and it actually has been for years. I would even argue more than a decade. People have been asking for DMs to be brought back, and apparently they were back in 2017, but I don't really think people use them all that much. Now let's get into why this could be a problem.
Not gonna lie, I didn't even know YouTube had DMs in 2017.
So as you can see, YouTube over here says our systems may scan for content that is against these policies, such as content that could cause real world harm, and we may review flagged content, right? Now
Okay, well, here's my question. How exactly are you going to do that other than invading people's privacy and seeing their own private DMs? And if that's the case, why would anyone use your DM system? Why wouldn't they just do what they've been doing right now and just, click share, copy the link, and then send it through a different actual private messaging app? Because if you're going to be reviewing messages, why on God's green earth would I ever use your platform to send messages? I don't want you reading my personal private messages that I'm sending. Even if it's just, a simple, like if Leaflet sends me a goddamn rev video and I just respond with lol, that's funny. Like, even then, I still don't want fucking YouTube seeing me respond with lol, that's funny. Like, fuck that. I don't want YouTube seeing any of my messages. I don't want YouTube seeing any of my messages. No ifs, ands, or buts, period. It's like, bro, first you're gonna roll out your fucking age verification stuff. Next, you're gonna start spying on people. What are you, the NSA?
that is good in the situation of, someone saying something inappropriate to some kid on YouTube or something like that, obviously. But what are they going to...
Well, then guess fucking what? Oh my fucking God, again with the kid shit. Even Deep Humor's now subtly being brainwashed into thinking of the kids by default. It's like, no, fuck that. YouTube Kids exist. YouTube kids shouldn't be on YouTube to begin with. No ifs, ands, or buts. They shouldn't. If a kid wants to be on YouTube, guess what? They can be on YouTube Kids. It sucks ass, but YouTube is not a platform for kids. Like, that shouldn't even be a fucking concern, is my point. You shouldn't be concerned with, oh crap, maybe I shouldn't interact with this person because they might be a child. Because guess what? YouTube Kids is a fucking thing. So realistically, that's where the kids should be. Like, YouTube Kids is literally the kids table, and YouTube's is the grown-ups table. And the CEO is like the head, and he's trying to allow kids at the grown-ups table. It's like, why? Why? It's not gonna end well.
be using to scan said messages? Are they going to be using their AI moderation? Because that's where the problem arises. If you've watched any video of mine over the last week or so, you guys would know that it's no secret that YouTube's AI moderation is going crazy at the moment, banning channels left and right, community
It's
guidelines striking people left and
ass.
right, and the YouTube community is continuously having this conversation of whether AI moderation.
Bro, I saw that Leaflet's fucking video. She made a video about a Twitch streamer who was sexually harassed. I think it was Disguised Toast or Donut Operator, one of those two. It could have also been someone completely different. I'm thinking of the wrong two people. But I know that she covered this, and like the video got banned because of the AI, but it flagged it as like sexual content or something like that. And it's like, bro, the bot is so bad. It's like, how are you gonna flag a React video? It's like my fucking video, same thing. I'm so fucking pissed about this. My video gets flagged for fucking nudity and sexual content. The Meat Canyon react to the Pirate Software video, but Meat Canyon's video stays up. Nux Taku's react stays up, and Tectone's fucking react stays up. So suck my dick, YouTube. Then it's gonna hit me with the, oh, sorry, we can't do that because of XYZ. Like, get the fuck out of here. You suck dick.
Should be able to ban or strike content on the platform. So the types of things that I'm thinking could possibly happen is, you're DMing someone on YouTube and they make a joke towards you that you message them, fuck off or whatever. And then they, I don't know, community guidelines strike you and say, hey, your DMs are sounding very threatening, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously, there are DM features on pretty much every single social media out there. Hopefully, they are able to distinguish between the context of conversations like the other websites. And I'm not against them scanning the messages per se, because obviously there's tons of scammers on YouTube that are going to be like, I already know that they're going to use this DM conversation thing in full effect, especially those.
Crazy thought. But if that's the case, then do what Apple does. And whenever you opt to report a DM, you can click as this is a scam or this spam, something like that, something of that nature. And it sends the entire message log straight to Google or YouTube HQ, whoever is going to be in charge of this, whoever's the head of this. I say do something like that then, so that way you're not scanning people's messages. So that way, show the people, hey, we're gonna trust you to be smart enough to see that these are there are scams out there. People will try to reach out, so don't click any weird links. This is the internet. They could do something like that instead of just being like, all right, we're going to scan your messages because you people are too stupid enough to figure out if you're about to hit a scam link. Like, I feel like that's better than, that.
UTTP assholes that are always in every comment section, like these douchebags over here. But yeah, regardless, yeah, I know that the DM feature is going to be heavily abused by people like that. So YouTube taking some precautions to make sure the messages aren't too bad is good. But like I said, if it's going to be done through YouTube's very flawed AI moderation, I suggest that when this feature does roll out to people across the world, definitely be careful with the types of messages that you send.
I'm gonna be real with you. The AI is so bad. You could send a link. It probably thinks it's a spam link. You'll get banned, and that link was a literal YouTube video. That's how bad the AI is. I feel like that's gonna happen to someone. You're gonna literally send a YouTube video link through the DM system, and the AI that's monitoring the messages is gonna ban you because it sees a link and it's gonna assume that that link is malicious. I can already see it coming. I'm predicting that now. I'm predicting that happening to not just one person, but a decent handful of people.
I would even argue that you should just refrain from swearing, because people already breathe the wrong way on YouTube and gets their accounts striked and banned. So I would just make sure that you are very, very careful with that, because imagine losing your YouTube account because YouTube thought you sent some sort of bad message, or at least their AI moderation did. And then obviously your channel
bust the Kanye.
Now, despite my normal whining, I do think that it is still a very good feature, and I'm glad that they're bringing it back. But just with YouTube, we just have to take all these precautions because their AI moderation is just so bad, and it's just kind of ironic that they're releasing this feature now and saying that they're going to be scanning it with their systems, because right now, like, the trust in YouTube's AI moderation is probably at the least right now, like literally the lowest trust that we could possibly.
Bro, I wouldn't trust YouTube to watch fucking paint dry at this point. Not gonna lie. Like, genuinely, I wouldn't trust YouTube with anything right now. Especially with how badly things have been, especially when it comes to their AI. Like, we've already seen how bad it is. It's just getting worse. It's not actually, we don't see any signs of the AI improving, and it's like that's not really a good sign of faith.
Have, and YouTube actually making decisions carefully. I could go through example after example, like with the whole YouTuber getting banned for knocking over their mic and stuff like that, or what happened to me recently, or what happened to me in 2024. But you know, you guys get the idea. I do think messaging will be really cool, and we're not going to actually have to rely on these email conversations once again, because for example, with myself, whenever I want someone to go ahead and DM me, whether it's something sponsorship related or whatever, I actually just have like an email address right over here, right? But in this case, at least someone can just DM me directly on YouTube, and we can set up a collab that way. And I know that it's actually them because, you know, I'm sure YouTube will give me some sort of indication, like maybe I click on their profile picture and it'll take me to the real channel and stuff like that. So it'll just promote.
Well, I mean, it should be pretty seamless. I mean, especially when you take into consideration the now the ad system to make it easier, like especially with like the ad handles that you know, YouTube now incorporated. Like, here you have at Deep Humor. So now it's youtube.com/at Deep Humor gaming. Or just go into YouTube and type in at Deep Humor. Same with my channel. You can do the exact same thing if you type in whatever it is that I have my handle set to. I forgot what it was, which is bad. But it is what it is. But yeah, like, you should be able to click on the handle and it should send you straight to their channel. So that should be something else that should be pretty seamless, you know?
Channel and stuff like that. So it'll just promote better conversation between YouTubers, and it'll also promote better conversation between sponsorships, because the amount of sponsorship scams I get in my email nowadays is crazy, and the only way I'm able to discern a real sponsorship would be through a direct DM on YouTube. So I think it would be a really good feature. And you know, it's funny because, you know, with all this talk of YouTube's automated systems possibly moderating these messages, I actually did see a tweet from YouTube that, like, I was thinking about making a whole video about, but the reason I'm going to refrain from it is because I don't want this to seem like I'm just bitching all the time, which I know it probably seems that way anyways. On the YouTube help page, they said, testing new ways to share videos on YouTube. We're experimenting with a new feature that makes it easy for you to share videos, and you can, you know, share messages directly on the YouTube mobile app. By messaging on YouTube, you accept that messages may be reviewed to ensure they follow our community guidelines. Right?
Nope.
Now, in terms of that, apply to all content on YouTube, including video shares and messages. And the reason why I'm saying this is kind of funny, because YouTube, in terms of community guidelines and copyright strikes, claim that they will take a false copyright strike very, very seriously. I saw this tweet from yesterday where they were talking to somebody about like a whole copyright detection thing, and they said, we take misuse of our web forms very seriously and take strong action when we find abuse, including.
That's a good one. That's so fucking hilarious. That is so rich, given that, you know, Royalty is Here had a copyright strike issue because of a video he did, and oh, what did YouTube do? Absolutely fucking nothing. Nothing whatsoever. So it's like, how? Not to mention the stuff that he talked about in that video. He talks about another YouTuber who's going through some like stuff with another content creator for faulty strikes and whatnot. And YouTube literally told him that they can't do anything about it. So it's like, how are you going to say you're taking false claims and false strikes more seriously when you yourself has stated also that you're not going to do anything about it because it's essentially too much work?
Terminating channels. I think some of you guys might know where I'm about to go with this, but let's just go ahead and do it anyways. Do you remember this whole thing that happened in September 2024 where there's this other guy named Deep Humor who basically was trying to take the channel name and everything, and they falsely copyright striked me? Remember when they said that I used their quote work of art within 0 minutes to 34 minutes of my video, even though it was only 15 minutes long? Do you remember when they were in the comment section of their video and said that the copyright strike was just a warning? So they literally admitted to a fraudulent strike. Do you remember when
Okay.
creators on your platform, Critical, made a video talking about this very false copyright strike and talked about the fact that he shouldn't be allowed to do this?
You're admitting to a fraudulent strike. You know that, right? You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not supposed to do that.
It's illegal.
Openly stating it.
So I know some of you guys might think that this is a reach, but keeping all that in mind and understanding that that is all done through YouTube's automated system, hopefully YouTube won't look at some innocent joking conversation that is happening in the DMs and then give some
they will.
false community guideline strike for it.
Oh, they will.
Also, on the other hand, claiming that they take copyright strikes.
Oh, they will. Like I said, I can already guarantee you there's going to be massive issues with it. And I can already see how some people might abuse it as well, you know? And it kind of sucks that that's what's going to happen. But, you know, at the end of the day, YouTube's got to experiment somehow, you know? We are YouTube's guinea pigs. But I'm not even going to bother doing this. I'm like, hell no, you're not going to be scanning my messages. I don't care. No. What? I want to still be able to be racist with my friends, even if it is on YouTube.
Very seriously. But that channel that falsely copyright striked me back in 2024 of September, it's been more than a year now, that channel is still fine and up and dandy. I mean, what? Like I said, I know that that might be kind of a reach on my part, but my point is that YouTube will falsely community guidelines strike and ban channels when they don't do anything wrong. And then when someone does do something wrong, they don't take it seriously. So hopefully they won't make YouTube DM.
It's kind of like the police when you get assaulted and they let the person who assaulted you go. But then if you fight back and defend yourself, they'll arrest you instead and charge you with everything. It's like, what? What? Why are you hurting the innocent and letting the guilty go free? Kind of like the same thing here. Except that this isn't done intentionally. This is done by a shitty automated system.
It's a thing where we have to be super careful of our words so we don't get falsely banned. That's my point. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. This is actually a good update from YouTube. I would be really happy to see DMs brought back. Like I said, it'll help creators communicate a lot more effectively. But yeah, please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.
I think it'd be very interesting. I do believe it'd be very, very interesting, I will say. And I would also love to see how they implement it, and to see if it would just be like YouTube, Twitch's whisper system, or if it'd be like way more interactive, you know, than a simple messaging UI. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz, and I'll catch you on the next one later.